Like, there's no subtext or subliminal themes that indicate Raya and Namari have any romantic interest in one another, but let a man I'm doing it right now, aren't I? Yeah, no offense here, Peter. I know we just met and all, but I ain't about to look at your dumpy-ass face throughout this entire level. You know you must be a special kind of special if I'ma pick Goofy's dumbass face instead of yours. Oh yeah! Something else I want to get into a little bit. And this is gonna take a fair bit of time to get through, so bear with me. Last long rant, I promise. I'm gonna pitch you guys an idea, and I want you to tell me whether or not this sounds like the sickest, most amazing shit you've ever heard of. You ready? Pirate-themed, Souls-like RPG with dark fantasy influence. Does that shit not automatically make your britches moist? Does that shit not hoist your mainsail? I have it all planned out, too. The narrative would be something along the lines of a fabled, cursed pirate treasure that feeds on greed and makes whoever wields it immortal, or gives them unspoken power, or something. But you need to have all the coins of the treasure together for it to work. And it would secrete a substance that overwhelms people and makes them thirst for its power. To have all of it. As the main character, your parents would have been pirates that betrayed the person who originally discovered it and stole a coin of it to keep him from coming into power, and they escaped and abandoned their lives of thievery and piratehood to hide their past from you. But they're hunted down and killed by descendants of his original crew, who believe the treasure is rightfully theirs. The original founder of the treasure is thought to be long since dead, but he betrayed his crew and held himself away, because he knew he'd be a target, but he's been surviving throughout the ages due to the gold's power. But given the small remaining power of the coin your parents left you, it feeds off your subconscious greed and tempts you to sail the open seas in search of it. Throughout the game, you'd battle vicious creatures, skeletons of pirates once lived, revived by the cursed power, ferocious and fantastical beasts that prowl the isles, and other bloodthirsty rogues and pirate captains hell-bent on claiming the treasure for themselves. As for the overworld, you'd be freely able to travel the majority of the open world, navigating to different ports of different towns, where you'd barter with merchants for various weapons, upgrades, items, and other wares, as well as lore and local information. In the towns, there'd be a plethora of side quests for different citizens that you could do to boost your local reputation, and some of these people would have their own personal connections and would put in a good word for you with local merchants, granting you access to a multitude of new upgrades, items, weapons, and other goods, as well as maps. In the beginning of the game, you'd assemble a small crew, only a few in number that show interest in your cause. But as your reputation in towns grows, more people would take interest in the legend of the fabled treasure, and would then become available to hire. These crew members would vary solely in ability, and would have stats that heavily emphasize their weaknesses and their strengths in certain fields, while some would have specialties and excel in particular ones. Crew members would also have their own personalities and attitudes with their own likes and dislikes that may or may not get along well with other members, so you'd have to put careful consideration into who you wish to hire if you want to make a cohesive and effective crew. Some crew members may have low stats, but may potentially have unseen benefits, such as knowledge from local legends and stories they hear, or extra special discounts at certain merchants, as well as personal treasure maps that wouldn't otherwise be sold by merchants or found on islands that will be revealed when they have been in your company long enough and feel comfortable enough to divulge their personal backgrounds. Crew members would also be necessary for keeping your ship operable and in good condition, and will notify you if repairs or part replacements need to be made. If your ship is in poor condition, it would still move and run, but not efficiently, and it would make you a sitting duck on open water for other seafaring ravaging pirates, so it's best to keep it in good shape. The condition of your ship would deteriorate in sea-based battles, but can be repaired or upgraded at any port or town. As for the rest of the open world navigation, you'd spend innumerable hours fighting pirates that intercept you on your adventure across the open seas, in high-stakes, invigorating, and personal combat, exploring lush and beautifully, fully rendered islands that would take around an hour of exploration each to fully cover, each with their own personal, individualistic, and unique wildlife. On these islands would be vicious beasts and other enemies such as bloodthirsty pirates looking for treasure, or any useful salvageable items, rogues and cutthroats, grottos and caves that can be plundered for weapons, weapon blueprints to be taken back to a blacksmith to create new weapons or improve your weapons with various upgrades, small parts for improving your ship like metal scraps for defense, higher quality sails for speed, and steering wheels which would allow for better handling. Caves and grottos may also sometimes contain clues to abandoned and buried treasure hoards, information about surrounding islands, or lore-based information. But treasure hunters be wary. Pirates before you may have laid traps to protect their findings. There would be an emphasis on puzzle solving, riddles, death traps, and other simple non-lethal brain teasers. What I had in mind for combat would be like a hybrid of Sekiro's posture system, and would include sword deflection and countering, skills and parries depending on the attacks, and Bloodborne with gunplay. Or alternatively, you could mix it up and sacrifice your gun at leisure to play with two swords instead for a more aggressive and mobile playstyle. Or you could even use a shield and a sword. Playing with shield, you take less posture damage when you block attacks, allowing for more comfortable play. For a while. But over time, as the shield takes damage, it would break, and when it breaks you'd have to rely solely on your evasive skills or skilled timing with swordplay, and you wouldn't be able to pull out a gun or an offhand sword for the rest of the battle. Also, depending on what difficulty you play on, enemies would actually dynamically change. They'll incorporate new moves into their respective attacks to be learned and countered. Enemies will have increased health pools and resistances to their normal weaknesses, and they will strategize and adapt to your playstyle to find vulnerabilities in your defense and in your combat strategies against them. Lastly, enemies would be more numerable, so if you weren't confident in your combat ability, you'd have to expend more resources than normal to take them down. It wouldn't be stupid though, like you wouldn't be able to easily get gangbanged to death with no real ability to fight back. The target that's currently being locked onto would stay fully aggressive, but the others would be comparably less aggressive, and would only attack periodically for the duration that a target is locked onto, or until said target was eliminated, or you locked onto another target. On easy mode, the enemies you aren't currently engaged in combat with by use of the lock-on mechanic would not attack at all. There would also be a supplementary mechanic in the options at the start of a new game to disable this adaptive AI, so the lock-on system would be unaffected based on individual player preference. This would allow players to freely adjust the difficulty and intensity of the combat to feel as engaging or comforting as they wanted, while maintaining potential for desired flexibility and comfort. Though the game would still pride itself on Souls-like roots, normal difficulty would be the game's balanced and default intended difficulty, and would provide a good level of challenge to be enjoyed even by seasoned Souls veterans. During open sea and island exploration, I was thinking of a system to prevent players from stumbling upon heavily narrative-focused areas too soon, and came up with an awesome idea. Interactive and dynamic context-sensitive world events. For example, if you navigated too close to an isle you weren't meant to be at yet, you'd be intercepted by a massive sea beast, and you'd have to perform QuickTime events God of War style to extend the cinematic event to its full potential. The end result would still be the same, with your ship being destroyed, but actively performing the QTEs would lessen injuries and damage done to your crew and your vessel. There would be a total of 5 or so of these that are different from each other with different QTEs every time. And they would be dynamic, so holding up something heavy would be a mash blank. In the event something needs to be moved to be shot at the monster, or for you to freely navigate to another part of the ship to continue your assault, would be to hold blank. If you need to block a very heavy attack, there'd be a short cinematic with a prompt for L2 and R2 or equivalent, but those would only happen once in a while, and wouldn't be overdone. With weather and day and night dynamics, some of these events could go from standing as nuisances to incredibly memorable encounters. Fights and the results of them would then be recorded in a log, along with any potentially exploitable weaknesses, and could be accessed at any time through a menu. Another event that I had in mind was being intercepted by pirates who are better equipped than you, who force you to surrender, and then board your vessel, and take the 3 most useful members of your crew, which you'd then have to bargain for with some treasure you may have acquired, or a small fee of gold. In the event of this, you would be automatically sent back to the nearest town port, and those pirates would then patrol that area, and you'd be able to take them on and deal with them when better equipped later on in the story. A prompt would display wherever you are in the world at the time when you get good enough gear that compares your gear level to that of your enemies, and notifies you that they are now able to be battled for control of that respective territory. In the event that you encounter a ferocious sea creature, your ship would be destroyed, and you'd also be sent back to the nearest town port, and would have the option of either rebuilding your current ship for a small fee, or building a new ship with the parts you've amassed, either through exploration or as purchases through merchants, with a discount depending on whether or not you have a part sold by that town's particular merchant. These events would also have an impact on members of your crew. Some may potentially be afflicted with negative statuses such as PTSD or anxiety, or may need medical attention for physical conditions before they'd be willing to rejoin your company. These costs would vary depending on the capabilities and skills of the crew member afflicted. And lastly, the one you've really been waiting for. The boss fights. Oh my god, the boss fights. I was thinking something along the lines of a skeleton that was revived by the gold's power, that has a rapier, a cutlass, an axe, and a gun. A 4-armed skeleton. How fucking neat does that sound? It'd be like in a cave or something, I don't know. It's cool though, trust me. Also, I was actually thinking of making the world's first well-thought-out and actually fun gimmick boss. How does that sound? Imagine a giant raging sea kraken with harpoons and spears in it that breathes toxic gas, lashes you with its massive tentacles, bashes its massive head against your ship and makes you lose your footing, and bites at you with its gigantic, razor-sharp teeth. As it slams its tentacles, the more energy it expends to attack, which leaves its tentacles vulnerable to being sliced. Eventually, if you do enough damage to a tentacle, it would be sliced off permanently, but the Kraken would become more dynamic and aggressive the more tentacles you amputate. There would be a maximum of 3 tentacles that are able to be cut off, and then it would focus the rest of its attacks with those remaining, and those attacks would be so relentless and fast that it would take skilled timing and evasion to be able to hit them effectively. This is how I was trying to imagine this fight and make it super memorable. The boss would have 4 basic moves initially. A toxic gas AoE that envelops a large part of the ship and lingers for a short period of time, and inflicts a damage over time poison debuff. Can only be evaded if the telegraph is read in a timely manner and the player evades early enough. A simple tentacle slam, which would cover a small area and could be iframed with a well-timed evasion and could be hit a couple times afterward. A head slam that would affect a very wide area and deal heavy damage, but would leave it vulnerable for a few hits afterward. Cannot be blocked, but can be evaded with a well-timed evasion. And lastly, a bite with little area coverage that would deal moderate damage, but wouldn't be too dangerous to be blocked or iframed. When the first tentacle is chopped off, it would save all the previous moves and would attack a little faster, and would also gain a few new attacks. The Wombo, a very high damaging move consisting of tentacle thrashes and sweeps that deals heavy damage that can be evaded with well-timed dodges. Random follow-ups, mixed in follow-up sweeps to previous attacks before the first tentacle was cut. When the second tentacle is chopped off, the Kraken becomes enraged and the Wombo becomes a little bit faster and therefore takes more careful timing to avoid and would have a few follow-ups after. Random follow-ups to attacks from before the first tentacle was cut would have faster animations, requiring the player to be more actively attentive. Moving Toxic Breath. The Kraken will now move its head to a random side of the ship and breathe poison mist down along it a limited distance. When the third tentacle is chopped off, the Kraken would exit its enraged state, and the Wombo combo animation would change and be shorter with less attacks. Still can be evaded if careful. Laser. The Kraken would in the original Wombo's place now have a highly deadly, but heavily telegraphed concentrated energy laser that deals near lethal damage and would kill a player if not full health, which could be evaded with careful timing. Cannot be blocked. And lastly, it would have the same head slamming move it's always had, but would now do it up to 3 times at random before it gets tired, allowing you to punish it. All of the above would make the encounter an incredibly dynamic and memorable boss fight, as well as a gimmick, and would allow players to approach it in a variety of playstyles while still staying a highly stressful yet enjoyable and noteworthy foe. But wait, Something's missing. What if, when its massive health bar is finally emptied, its head slumps over onto the ship, still alive, and your character wearily stumbles, drained from the epic fight you just had, their shirt ripped and their body covered in cuts, and they see the Kraken is still breathing, its odorous, pungent breath still escaping its open mouth full of sharp, jagged teeth. How fucking cool would it be if, to end this insanely cinematic and legendary battle, you were prompted to climb to the crow's nest, and in one last exuberant act, you propel yourself from the crow's nest, slide down some rigging that was knocked loose from the fight, and soar and impale this massively scaled, titanic sea beast square in the fucking eye, God of War style. How fucking gnarly does that sound? Anyway, those are just a few of the pitch ideas I had in mind if I were to pitch a pirate-themed Souls-like game. Would you guys buy something like that? Honestly, I just wanted to run around listening to this banger of a soundtrack while I looked for items. This seems like a bit short for a world, and I get the feeling we're coming up on Captain Hook pretty soon, and I'm not sure if we can come back here or not. So I just wanted to grab everything I can while I'm here. A little grinding never hurt either. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed that it seems like we won't be seeing the actual Neverland, but oh well. Really wish I could figure out how to get those chests up on those beams. Like, I see them like they're there, I just don't know how the fuck to get them. Whatever, though. Oh! Maybe they're not obtainable yet. Maybe I need some sort of ability I don't have. But that would imply that I'd have to return then, yeah? Okay, alright, then I must be able to come back here then. I mean, I've been able to backtrack to just about everywhere with the exception of Destiny Island, I think, but I'm assuming that's because it's story bullshit or some crap like that. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to 100% the game or nothing or collect everything in it. I'm just a greedy little fucking pack rat. I see something gold, it's mine. I'll straight up go through a plastic surgery like Michael Jackson and turn into Wario on the spot. I'll make this ship my bitch, don't test me. In that case, where the fuck do I go then? I feel like I've been running around in circles for like 15 minutes. I've gotta be missing something like stupidly obvious here. I get really easily distracted when I go on super long tangents, so that kinda makes sense. On the subject of pack rats, seeing as how I have the fucking attention span of one. Where the fuck are all the enemies at? If I'm gonna run around like an ass clown dicking away my time, I might as well get some levels while I'm at it. The one actual time I wouldn't mind fighting hordes of enemies to shatter this placid air, and of course I can't find a single one. You know what? Just because I'm stubborn as fuck, and I really want to take my anger out on something, let me try to get these boxes one last time. Alright, okay. Alright, that kinda helps alleviate the anger a little bit.
What's up, boat? Ever gotten frisky with the 14-year-old before?
Oh, yes. Call me your ladyship.
Hellbell right here. Does your ladyship like that?
Damn fucking right she does.
Good, because I finished a little while ago.
What? Why did you stop? For fuck's sake, I was almost there.
Sorry, boat babe. Also may want to get yourself checked. That was a close one, wasn't it, bros? Almost didn't make it out of that one.
I can still hear you. I am the entire ship.
Oh fuck, are you serious?
Yes. I've been watching you muck about for the past 20 fucking minutes.
Oh fuck, really? That's a little embarrassing.
Oh really? What do you mean I should get myself checked? Are you even listening to me? do you even know where the fuck it is you're going? Go to the ladder in the upper cabin, Jesus Christ!
Hey, you know what, bros? I just thought of something. I haven't been up that ladder in the upper cabin yet.
How about a thank you, maybe?
God damn, do you ever shut up? Man, Peter was right. Girls talk too much.
Riku, wait!
I'm leaving and I'm taking the bitch, bruh. Oh shit. Am I gonna have to— oh shit. Oh boy. Okay. Alright, it's time to duke it out, bruh. I like your dancing, but I'm afraid I'm gonna have to put you down, Chief. Oh, I see. Alright, so he pops out of the floor and hits me in the face. So, just roll spam? Damn, he's a slippery little black bastard. Whoa, whoa, holy shit, bro, what the fuck are you doing? I was gonna say, this fight's actually pretty boring, but now that he's pulled out the clones, it's a little hectic. He can ignore my thunderbolts? Okay. That's a little bullshit, but whatever. Holy shit, he is such an asshole! I don't like how he's just like swank walking out of my attacks when I'm clearly fucking hitting him in the face and he just shrugs it off and doesn't give a shit. Oh yeah, uh-huh. Sure he can. He's almost done. A couple more hits, we got him. If I could hit the fucking prick. Are you fucking serious right now? God damn, finally. He was so fucking hard to hit at the end, he just kept walking away from me. That wasn't too bad, in all honesty. Beat my ass at the end, though.
Yeah, you hang your head in shame and bow to the real bro, bruh.
Wait, was that it? That's all? Where the fuck am I supposed to go then? Oh, there's a door that I can't fucking open.
Turn around, you fucking shitbird! There's a panel in the floor!
Oh shit, you know what, bros? I think there's a hidden panel over here near the door somewhere. I just got this feeling, you know?
Unbelievable!
I like how I just got done fighting a dark and evil obsidian version of myself, and these annoying little shits still can't take a vacation. Although, they are on a cruise ship in Neverland, to be fair. Holy shit. What if that's the M. Night Shyamalan? It's me. I'm the Heartless one. And these Heartless aren't really heartless at all. They're just hardworking people that go on vacation to finally get a break from the oppressive weight of the proverbial man and his corporate neckties, who in turn hide from their higher-ups. Slaving away their pathetic and meaningless lives, seen as nothing more than subhuman filth. Crawling in the dirt like pathetic and frightened rodents! Forever doomed to turn the gears of the corporate machine. Ever fearful of the vigilant and piercing gaze of the vultures that ominously circle above.
Or they're just silly little enemies with funky colors. I don't know.
I cannot believe that Squaresoft actually had the audacity to up and make me fight a dark version of myself. I feel like I'm 8 years old in the Water Temple again. For the last time, Squaresoft, I've already played Ocarina of Time. Water temples in Zelda is why you changed that E rating to a fucking A rating. T at the very least. Because that shit definitely wasn't E for everyone. You needed some galaxy brain level shit to figure that crap out as a child. Including, but not limited to, shifting water levels, gears, mechanisms, intricate timing segments, death pits, diamond switches, confusing ass layouts, water wheels, moving blocks, spike pits, bomb walls, hookshot, 50 keys, dark link, death boulders, tektites, directional flow, water pressure, long shot, Zelda's lullaby, shell blades, abyssal vortexes, and those shitty little fucking bladed sliding things just before Morpha.